So it's Saturday night. I've had a very, very lazy day. I really think I was hips and lower back really sore from, I think, sitting in a seat for most of the week, and I just couldn't get it stretched out, and I just spent a lazy day on the bed, on the computer, going through photos, hard drive, looking for photos and trying to organise stuff and that sort of thing. Checked out the news conference today, and Sydney's latest figures have gone up to 163 extra people just over the 24 hours, 54 of those in the community while infectious. The Blacktown area, which is where my school is, recorded 15 of those cases. They were detecting a lot of COVID in the sewer systems of different areas, and that's why they kept asking people to come and get tested, and people weren't coming and getting tested. And that was why Blacktown got locked down, apparently, and Cumberland. But then I saw the news tonight, and about 3,500 numbnuts decided to do a freedom protest rally through the streets of Sydney, the majority of them not wearing masks, crying out freedom, clashed with police. They said there was 50-something arrests, and that they're going to use video footage to try and find other people to do the same. It's just stupid. Like it was an anti-lockdown protest. They said a lot of the people that were arrested got arrested because they were outside their local government area, because they were probably in one of those areas that were locked down. It was sunny in the morning. I thought, great, might be able to get out and take the dogs out. Then a bit of cloud, and then the wind just whipped up again. And because of where I walk with all the trees, it's a little concerning when it's that windy. And too cold and too windy to set up the pickets to paint, because I wouldn't have been able to spray in that wind, and the temperature was too low to be able to paint. It would take forever to dry, and I know that from doing the other stuff. Tomorrow is meant to be a lot colder. My wife said it was 48 tomorrow forecast, so Fahrenheit. I'll have to convert that and just put it on the screen. I can't convert it right now in my head. One more tickle of the brain activity. Decided to come and get another COVID test. Another peace of mind one, because when I went down to have my Pfizer jab, that was down in Blacktown. I mean, nothing has come up in the QR code type things. But having been down there, and being down there for like over an hour waiting, and then the next day I had to go out to the pharmacy to get some prescriptions. And while you're being careful and that sort of stuff, there's been a few cases up the mountains. The cases down around Blacktown just suddenly went kaboom, and the whole place was locked down. And this will probably take another day maybe to get the result back for this, and then I can hopefully feel a little bit more comfortable at home. They've basically been saying that most of the cases they're seeing where they're connected have been inside family households. So one person in the household gets it, next thing you know, everybody in the household's got it. Or workplaces, some cases shops and pharmacies, all the essential goods areas. But I just think that they say to us, the chief medical officer and the health minister and the premier, they're all basically saying, when you go out, you need to basically consider that you could catch it off anybody you come near. So you need to make sure that you've got your mask on, and you don't hang around and have conversations, and because some of the passing on has been so fleeting. Like I noticed on the on the areas of concern, there was two grocery stores and a bank in the suburb of where one of my staff lives. And so I let her know, and so she checked, and she said, that's my local supermarket. I wasn't there the day that person was there, but I was the day after, and that was before they found out about this person having been there and deep cleaning the place. So just about anybody who went there that day or the day after has that potential. And some people are getting it, and some people have gotten it and haven't realised. And so, like, today's numbers for yesterday was 141 new cases and 51, I think, or 50 something contagious while out in the community. But there's been some where people one I heard of today, somebody who was living with somebody who was COVID positive. So if you're that close a contact, you're supposed to get yourself tested and stay home until you get any results. And this person went tripping out over 3 days all over the place and went to like 40 different venues. And so people I know have suddenly had to go out and get tested because they were in the same store the day that person was there, and the contact is just so fleeting. We're into week 3 of remote learning. This Friday is meant to be the end of the hard lockdown, but they've had to keep saying they can't guarantee that if the numbers keep going up. And currently the numbers are just climbing. They're staying high, especially the contagious all in the community. And there's people making predictions that schools could be basically doing remote learning until late September. But the Premier said that's just a rumour. But you never know. If cases keep climbing, we could stay in lockdown. I think Victoria, apparently their numbers have started going down. They're looking at opening up their own situation. But the way in New South Wales, Sydney, they did do a snap lockdown and testing out around Orange because of the case that was out that way. And that was able to be locked down and lifted because they got a lot of people who were in the area come in, get tested, and there was no spread of it. One of my students today, I asked him how he was going. He said, "I'm bored." Oh, it's stuck in the sticks. Good boy, hey. It's Monday, Arvo. I came back from the hospital having my test and got here just in time for lunch. Spent some time with Batman. Came up for my year 12 timber class. Had to organise some stuff for exec meeting because I was running it this afternoon, preparing the Zoom meeting. And our boss came in having had a meeting with the director and basically said to us, the way the situation is going, be prepared to be closed for the rest of the term. You need to not encourage parents to come up to the school anymore to collect work. So any work in hard copy now needs to be mailed home. All of our faculties had just prepared for up to this Friday. So there was a lot of discussion. How to provide work for our kids without providing too much work that's going to overwhelm them, overwhelm the families, parents, etc., overwhelm the staff. Didn't come up with a decision. Came up with lots of ideas. But we need to have another meeting tomorrow after we sort of shared this stuff with our staff. Literally just finished a Teams meeting with my faculty, brainstorming, what sort of stuff do we want to try and do. Obviously for the seniors, you've got coursework you need to do. It's going to look very different for year 11 now as well as it does for year 12. Like year 12 have 8 weeks technically left of their school year, and it doesn't look like they're going to be at school to do it. Year 11 are meant to have exams at the end of this semester, and if we're not on, at the end of this term, if we're not on site, that can't happen. I mean, this might not go this long, but we've essentially been told to be prepared for it. I'll be looking very closely at the next couple of press conferences with the Premier, because if the department's coming out and saying that to us, do they know something? Stage 4, do you want to go for... Some of the faculties have already gotten work for the whole term for stage 4. They obviously had a unit ready and just said, well, there's the unit. If they don't do it, that's fine, because when they come back, we'll just pick up where they're up to. Our units are very practical. PE's the same. Like they said they had stuff, but they're trying to work out, like, what more stuff do we do? My staff had sort of gotten, here's the theory that we can do now, because we're going to do prac soon. I'm probably going to lose sleep thinking about this tonight. Some of my staff, like, they go, I know I've got something that they can do with different year groups. I can do stuff. I don't want them to overwork. This is a lot of work. It's very different. And I know lots of other areas in the world, a lot of teachers I've spoken to in the US, they did most of their last school year as a mixture of remote learning and on-site. But this is like a definite, it's a remote learning situation. When you teach practical subjects, where a lot of the assessment comes from the prac, that's a really hard thing to do. Like, I've come up with some ideas for year 10 that they could do at home, but then if they don't have anything at home to do it with, like, I'm not talking about tools, I'm just talking about any other sort of resources. We'll have another meeting tomorrow. My staff have given me their thoughts. They're prepared to do the work, and I don't want them to overwork. They've all got families, and they're trying to do the same thing as well. They're at home with their kids, trying to be learning from home as well. And several of my staff are in the lockdown zone, the lockdown zone. And that's why we've been told not to encourage the parents to come up to the school, because they've been told, that this is the area you're not supposed to travel out of. You need to stay in place. We don't want a lot of people coming up to the school.